Okay, so we talked about key exposure, but what about keyframes? So if a key exposure is anytime a drawing is called up a different drawing, then keyframes refers to transformable properties, our favorite word. What that means is anything pertaining to scale, size, position, skew, rotate, all those good things. So say I have, let me just do a circle because it's easy. Whoop, close that gap. I'm just going to fill it in with a color. Let's see, blue, like that. So what we could do is if I extend my exposure out here to number 40, so unlike exposure where I'm making different drawings, this I'm going to move it from key 1 to key 2 so I can affect the size or position. So first I want to toggle on my animate mode. By default, it's usually toggled on in your Toonboom when you open it up. I always have it toggled off. So you want a column running man, animate mode / running man, you want him on. And then you're going to take your transform, and on our key 1, you can either press F6 or just make a change. And then over here on 40, I'm going to make another change. So right now, it's not creating an interpolation or a tween between the two of them because these are red dots. That means it is a stop motion keyframe. If I go to my animation menu, it has stop motion keyframe toggled on. So if I wanted to have this interpolate or tween from key 1 to key 2, I could literally just switch that out by doing set motion keyframe, which is command or command K or command L. So motion keyframe would have that going across. So right now it's interpolating in position, but you could also do rotation, you could do size, you could all do all those things. So basically it's anything that's transformable. And then every time I hit F6, right now my stop motion mode is still on, so if I toggle that off, there we go. So every time I change it, it's going to lay down a new key. And again, you can go between stop motion and motion tween on the same layer. That should be fine. But you don't want to have different exposures because once you start kind of putting exposures into the mix, it gets really kind of squirrely and it gets really hard to control. So it's nothing that, it starts getting a little unmanageable, which is why we like to use pegs, which we'll talk about on the next page where that's beneficial. So as much as possible, you want to separate your key exposures from your keyframes, knowing that there are two types of keyframes, the stop motion and the motion frames.